Very, very welcome news that the Hollywood Center is closing. And Aaron shared the news very recently, so I will share a short clip of him and then do a commentary and then finish off with Liz Gale.
Recruiting happening over the last 3 or 4 years outside most Scientology organizations. It's about to explode. So the fact that the main Scientology test center has been shut down, guys, it's almost setting a very dangerous precedent. Scientology will shut it down. And look, the moment the Hollywood Test Center, if they open it back up, the streamers are going to go back there. So, but in the Los Angeles area, though, there's plenty of other locations for the streamers to go, even though the Hollywood Test Center is shut down. They can stay, they can keep going to L. Ron Hubbard Way. There's other Scientology organizations around the the LA area. First of all, there's the Celebrity Center, of course.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And Aaron is right that Miscavige is in a really difficult position. On the one hand, the orgs are definitely suffering from attrition. They just really aren't getting that many new members. But Scientology has to put up this image of being this growing religion, this massive phenomenon that apparently has about 1 billion believers, although all the most credible surveys go back and forth. It's either a very low, low number of 10,000 people worldwide or 40,000 at the high end. But even with the high number, it just is nowhere close to meeting expectations. And all these buildings keep getting built, grand openings, symbolically crowds show up, but then almost nobody is actually in the buildings, producing a big paradox. And how empty are they? Well, Liz went to Portland, her old stomping grounds, and it's fairly amusing.
Oh my
So the
goodness.
bookstore. Let me tell you though, the old Portland org, the
Okay,
innate
let's see.
are in
Here.
3 wives that mentioned. So let's see. Are his 3 wives that mentioned, or is his bigamy mentioned? Oh, maybe it's over here on this wall. Oh no, no bigamy. Imagine that. Imagine that. Do you see like screens on that? LEPD in the action.
Well, I would defend Hubbard. Did he have affairs? True. Was he really dedicated to marriage? Not really. I mean, his wife was in jail for tax fraud. Well, he was out and didn't seem to care about her too much. So his dedication to marriage was fairly weak. I don't think it's a doctrine, though, that bigamy per se is allowed. I would assume implicitly it's not. So bigamy, it's being a little harsh, but that's neither here nor there. The main point is no one is showing up to honor LRH. The office is empty. It looks pretty, but that's where Scientology is. New buildings, we go to building and we see just one person walking around and they close the doors and shut the windows and there we are. It does produce a problem, like you can't technically protest these centers because no one's going to show up anyway, so you're not saving people because almost nobody enters the buildings. So it's a very, very deep dilemma that the propaganda a few years ago that Tom Cruise was giving Scientology to 1 billion people isn't matching the numbers we actually see when we actually go to these buildings and centers. So presumably something's gonna have to give where officially they're gonna have to retract something or just maintain the facade and just we'll keep staring at the empty buildings being empty, and David Miscavige will pretend to have these big openings, but we all know nothing is really happening inside these buildings. And insofar as anything is happening, it's probably pretty devious.